Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alec Reed. This is my channel Alec Reads, and today we are reading chapter 115, Happy Tears. Anyway, I have an Instagram where I post about everything, so go check that out over there. And I also have a Spotify. Go check that out. It's under the same name. Anyway, let's jump right into the video. Chapter 115, Happy Tears. Charlie's perspective. I watched in awe as he walked up and down the stage. His hands were shaking. I could see him trying to stop them from doing so. He's always dug his nails into the palm of his hand in attempts to stop the shaking. Whenever he does that, I always interlock his fingers with mine until they stop shaking. Last time he got a call from his dad, he was pressing his nails into his palm so hard there was bloody nail indents in his palm. He said he didn't even notice he was doing it. I hope he's not doing that now. I don't want him to be nervous when I'm around. I want him to feel better when I'm around, like how I feel when I see him. When I'm nervous, it's like there's no one around at all. I can see him, and that's all that matters. I don't care that anyone around me is watching when it's us. The show finished up, and I feel like my body is twitching. My mind is focused on one thing, my Nick. He did so good, and all I could think about is how I want to be in his arms. That's all I want. The time couldn't go by any slower. I waited for Nick to come out from backstage. My heart pounded as I felt the excitement run through my body twice over. My eyes locked on the tall, dirty blonde man that walked out the door. His makeup and outfit corresponding perfectly. Just the right amount of makeup and perfect color palette that matched Nick's sweet, tender-looking features. He walked a step further before I ran up to him, jumping up on him. He held my body up by my thighs, and I laid my head on his shoulder as he held me. I didn't want this moment to fade. I didn't care if anyone was watching us, and I didn't care what they thought. I only cared about what Nick thought. What was he thinking right now? My impulsive thoughts couldn't help but trick me into thinking he was upset. My heart started to race, and I felt nervous. I took my head off his shoulder and stared at him for a moment. Our eyes met, but neither of us said anything. Pushing all the things my mind was telling me to ask out of the way freed up room for me to tell him the most important thing. You look so handsome, my love. I brushed my hand against his cheek, and he weakly smiled. His eyes started to well up, and a few ice-cold tears slipped out, trickling down his cheeks. "Don't do that, darling," I said as softly and slowly as I could as I wiped away the wetness from his cheeks. "You're going to ruin your makeup." I saw the small smile reappear, and I kissed him. While placing another kiss on his lips, I mumbled, just audible enough for him to hear, "I love you more than anything, and you will always be beautiful to me no matter what, okay?" He mumbled an before going in for another kiss. After I pulled away, he put me down gently. I took a step back to get the full view. "You look so good, oh my lord." He smiled at me, and I knew he had something to say, but couldn't find the words. But whatever he wanted to say, I could tell was good. He was happy. He went into the dressing room, leaving me out in the entrance area, awaiting for him to come back. He came back looking like he normally does, a t-shirt on, a pair of black shorts with 2 white strips down the side. He had long Nike socks on and his Vans. I can't tell what looks better on him. I think he can pull off everything, and I can't wait to remind him how beautiful he looks in everything every day, if that's what it will take for him to be confident in himself again. He just the sight of him, from the way he walks to the way his hands lay perfectly beside his body. As he walks closer, it sends shivers down my spine and butterflies to my stomach. When I see him, I feel electric. No matter what anyone says, no matter how long we've been together, I always feel it because we have a special spark, and no one can take that from us. Nick walks up to me and takes my hand, leading me out of the building. We walk to the car, and he's still silent, but I can tell he has a million things he wants to say. I don't push him, because I think a slight push will make him crumble. We get home and walk into our dark, empty apartment. I switch on the light as Nick sits down on the couch. I walk over to the couch and slide in beside him, so closely my arm is touching his. I rub his thigh. Nick, you looked amazing. I'm so proud of you. I want you to realize how unbelievably proud of you I am. He looked at me and started to say, Charlie. He couldn't finish his sentence because his breath started to hitch and tears started pouring from his eyes, not like before, when it was only a few. He was sobbing now. I wrapped my arms around him and pulled his head into my shoulder. He grabbed onto my sweater with a tight grip, like he did the day he came to my house in the pouring rain. Nick, what's wrong? Why are you crying? I asked, as I felt my tears in my eyes as well. Seeing him cry always makes me cry. Even after all these years, I can't help it. I just feel relieved. I was worried you would be upset or freak out about it, and I just feel all this weight lifted off my shoulders, and now I'm crying because I'm happy and feel so lucky to have you in my life. He laughed a little, and I couldn't help but hug him as tight as I could. He sat up again. Sitting back down beside me, I patted my thigh, singing to him and trying to get him to lay down on me. He quickly accepted the request by laying his head down on my thigh. I ran my fingers through his hair as I felt his every breath against my leg. I leaned down over him to kiss his forehead. You know you don't have to hide anything from me. I mean anything. I will support you, no matter what, because I love you more than anything in the whole world. He nodded, closing his eyes, taking everything in, enjoying the comfort and warm, safe feeling. Want me to rub your back? I asked, knowing the answer already. Yes, please, he said softly. Before letting him fall asleep on me, I had to ask one thing. Do you think I could paint my nails too? I asked, looking at his still painted nails. He turned his head towards me, smiling. It would be my pleasure, love, he said happily. I rubbed his back as he fell asleep, and after he did, I put a show on and felt myself falling asleep too. It wasn't long before we were both asleep. And that is the end of today's episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Before we go though, I do want to say that I have found a fantastic genre of books on Spotify where it is a enemies to lovers podfic type thing. Most of them are Harry Potter, I think. Or maybe all of them. I'm not sure. I'm a massive nerd when it comes to Harry Potter. Love everything Harry Potter. But oh my goodness, I am not the best. I will let you know what it's called in about 2 seconds when it comes up on my screen. My goodness, I'm so sorry. This is so much fun for me. ETL Echo audiobooks. ETL Echo is one of my favorite channels to listen to on Spotify. So if you want any type of enemies to lovers, they have spicy ones, they have non-spicy ones. You can get everything in between. You can get ones that they read for 31 chapters. You can get ones that are just one video that are 30 minutes long. There are all different kinds of things all over the place. So yeah, if you like Harry Potter, I think that they have other things, but I am a Harry Potter geek, so I mostly listen to Harry Potter. But anyway, I will see you in next week's video, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Bye, friends.